Hello, everyone, and welcome to DomeFest West's 2026 preview of films, creators, and innovations. I have to say, my name is Ed Lance, and I've been in the space for a while, and it's such a joy to be serving this awesome community of content creators, of theaters, planetariums, giant screen cinemas. And it's really all about delivering experiences in the content. So here we are. We have our Dome Film Festival coming up and also a conference. And I'd like to introduce Ryan Moore, our executive director, who will lead us through this forum. Welcome, Ryan.
Hey, Ed, thank you so much for kicking things off. It's good to see all of these amazing attendees in the room. Throw your names and locations in the chat. We would love to see you. Please stay active in the chat. Say hi to people. Let's have conversations going. This Fulldome Forum is a very unique Fulldome Forum. We are very excited to be previewing our 2026 content that will be taking place at the film festival. What are you talking about? You may say, if that is the case, let me just tell you, we're throwing a film festival. It's taking place in 2 weeks in Boulder, Colorado. It's going to be fantastic. We've got incredible things lined up, some incredible programs and films that you're going to be hearing from here momentarily. Just to kick things off, I want to just give you a quick rundown of what our festival will be doing this year. We've got a lot of really incredible programming, and I just want to take you through the event schedule real quick. We are starting our festival on April 23rd, and we are starting with our Fulldome Forward Expo. That is a part of our festival that is really focused on building the industry, focusing on the industry with professional development programming, roundtables, panels, an exhibits hall, and one-on-one meetings. So we kick things off Thursday with panels in the morning. We've got panels running concurrently talking about marketing, financing, programming, understanding what makes Dome experiences premium versus just something that is run of the mill, and then also understanding how to build audiences. That kicks things off on Thursday. We then go Thursday afternoon into our exhibits hall. We've got 17 incredible vendors that we would love to have you come meet, learn about what they're doing, their impacts in the industry. These are companies that are working directly in the industry, and these are your chances to meet them, meet the creators, meet the owners, the people behind the magic. That leads into our Catalyst Convergence. We're bringing all the catalysts together for a speed networking session. This has been a request over multiple years at DomeFest West. People want to meet each other. We are putting that into the programming. Come Thursday afternoon at DomeFest West, you will have a chance to meet at least 90 new people, if not more. So we are very excited about that. That's going to be led by Kelly Francis and is going to be a fun, unmissable piece of programming. Then Thursday evening, we kick off with Cosmic Journeys, just some incredible films, including Encounters in the Milky Way, which you're going to be hearing about here momentarily a little bit more, and then Edge of the Sky. I will let Matt and Ondrej speak to those more directly. Then Friday is when we have our roundtables in the morning. These are the open space technology format. Come, you are the people that design and determine the topics that are discussed, and then everyone discusses them. It's incredible. It is going to be an amazing opportunity for you to bring your own questions, your own concerns, and have the group talk through them in small groups. This is going to be led by the fantastic Tammy Barrett of GSCA fame. We are so excited that she is willing to bring the very successful format that was a big hit at GSCA over the last few conferences. So yes, go Tammy. Yes. Then at lunch, we're going to have Phil Strother kick us off with an amazing keynote presentation about Dome First capture and production. Is it possible in this age of incredibly high resolution sensors? We can't wait to hear what Phil is got to say. He's on the edge working with the incredible Sean Phillips and Michael Dowd, with many others as well, on these camera tests that they're producing for the GSCA. We at Dome Fest West get a little bit of an insight and tease. So something you can't miss, especially if you're interested in capturing for domes as well as potentially IMAX as well. Then Friday afternoon, we close out the afternoon with business. This is our B2B time frame. We've got our exhibit halls that open, but specifically we've got something called our office hours, where each of our gold level sponsors and above are setting one-on-one meetings with attendees. These are your chances to book a meeting before the festival even starts, to make sure that you know you are meeting with exactly who you need to at the festival. We want to make sure that this festival is as valuable as possible to all of our attendees. It's about making connections and getting inspiration. That's what we can promise you will happen at Dome Fest West. Then we move into Friday evening. We go back to the Fiske Planetarium. We do our film and works in progress preview, a brand new segment that we're excited to bring for 2026, as well as our Harmony, Sound, and Vision program, which some shout outs. We'll have the incredible Resolution and James Hood's Astronomica, the three-peat in a huge hit series of films by James Hood. And moving into Saturday and Sunday, this is when we put the business cards away temporarily and we get into film watching mode. We love at this festival to consume amazing content. So Saturday and Sunday is all dedicated to just some of the most incredible content you'll be seeing in the entire space. With a shout out to our Saturday night special program. This is our Laser Light Spectacular. And this is going to be something that you will not forget. We have incredible live performances, an amazing album performance film. But on top of that, we have laser showcases like you can only see here in the United States. We have a very unique laser ecosystem and industry here in the US of A, and it's something that we can share with the world very proudly and with excitement. So we'll be hearing from Jeremy as well at the very end of this, who will be teasing us a little bit of what he's bringing. And then Sunday, we'll be rounding out the day with a Inner Cosmos program, a Sacred Sunday program, some meditation, and then incredible educational films about Earth's evolution, the past, present, and the future. Before we finish up the festival, you'll wrap out on Sunday feeling full, not only of friends, but of good food, of inspiring views of the Colorado Flatirons, and views of the films that you have seen. It's something that you will not forget, and something we hope you'll return year over year. But that's enough from hearing me as the executive director speaking to it. I think it's time for us to hear from the actual artists themselves, the creators. Let's hear the inside on some of these films and programs that you'll be seeing at Dome Fest West 2026. To kick things off, I think of no better way than to start with the American Museum of Natural History, the AMNH, incredible Heenan Planetarium. Let's have Matt Heenan from AMNH come on. Thank you, Matt, for jumping on to go ahead and tease their incredible film, how you can have your own encounter in the Milky Way. Matt, handing it off to you.
Hey, well, thanks, Ryan. That was a great introduction. And let me just awkwardly share my screen right now. Hopefully it all goes very smoothly. Okay, so we're very, very excited to bring Encounters in the Milky Way, our newest show, to the Great Dome Fest West Festival in Boulder. And I wanted to just give everyone a little bit of a background to how we made this show, but also kind of how we make all shows, and hopefully to get you really excited about what you're going to see when you do come to the festival. So we always see our shows as a combination of art and science. And the images in this screen right here, these were all done by our director, Carter Emmett, who I'm sure many, many of you know very well. He's very well known in the industry. And these are some of the drawings he did during the concept and development stage. So you can see Gaia, JWST, Voyager, Oort Cloud, things like that. But for us, it always starts with the science. Science is the most important part of all of our shows. And this was what Jackie Farity, who's a curator on staff, but also an astrophysicist. We have a pretty large astrophysics department here at the museum. And this is what she wanted to show, really building from the incredible advancements from things like Gaia. I mean, the Gaia catalog is just insane in what we're starting to learn and what we can continue to learn from it. So she was really wanting to get people to understand what we now know and what the motion and dynamics of the Milky Way and beyond, how we've got to where we are now and we'll be heading in the future. The first step that we always do, this is a open space treatment. All we're doing here, this is very, very early, but all of our shows we see as journeys. You know, we don't just drop you at point B, we take you from point A to point B. There's a reason for the path. There's a particular journey. We're trying to balance, obviously, the 3D elements, but also, you know, adding time and space. Like, how do we use time in the right way? How do we take people on a path that is both educational, but also giving you, you know, sort of the spectacle and wonder that you need? All of our pre-renderings are done in open space as we're planning all of these things using our digital universe, which is available, obviously, through open space, which is open source and free for everyone to use. We then developed a new model of the Milky Way. This is working with a scientist from the University of Surrey. What we've done here, it's the Milky Way, which should be familiar to most people, but it looks quite different to a lot of people because we've added the dust and the gas. And this gives a way more complete vision of what the Milky Way actually is, what is there, how is everything interacting. And we always want to make sure that what we're doing, again, is scientifically correct. Everything's accurate, everything can be compared and contrasted. So these are other galaxies. We were using these as counterpoints to really check that we were showing things the right way and understanding the right concepts. This is, again, some drawings from Carter. You know, many of you would know, I mean, Carter's directed most of our shows. He's also a very, very good artist. And so these are the quick drawings that he was doing for an Oort cloud scene, which is a big part of the show, which I'm really looking forward to everyone seeing. This was the style frame to what we thought the Oort cloud might be, our Oort cloud. But we worked with data from David Nesvorny, Southwest Research Institute, sorry. And when we visualized the data in a new way, we found a kind of a weird, unknown thing. So if you watch carefully here, you'll see the shape of our Oort cloud starting to develop. This is a very early visualization, but you see that S shape. That was a surprise to everyone in the production. The visualization came up, we saw this shape. Jackie got on the phone with David Nesvorny, and she's saying, hey, what am I seeing here? The scientist hadn't seen this before. He didn't know this was actually how it was going to look from the data. And what happened was we made a pretty major discovery about the shape of our Oort cloud through the science visualization of the data, which is a very, very cool story for everyone working in science visualization, I think. So this was very exciting. There's a paper was already published, there's research happening, but it's very, very cool. When you see this Planetarium show, you can know that a major discovery was made through the production of this show. Another thing I'd love people to focus on, our models, we put a huge amount of effort in. You know, Voyager, JWST, whatever it might be. We work with often the original engineers who worked on the missions. We really want to get minutely detailed about how these things actually look, how they work. And the engineers often love this process because they don't see these models visualized in this way. So for them, when they see it in a planetarium, for example, it's a pretty special kind of thing. Data. Everything you see is backed up by research, active research. This is all current science that is happening right now. We partner with people all around the world. We go where the science leads us. Lots and lots of people involved. You know, every scientific project is a collaboration of people all around the world. And this is just kind of indicative of how we work on these shows. But the art is really important too. And for us, music is particularly important. For all of our shows, we have an original score. We've been very lucky in the past few shows. Robert Miller, a composer based in New York, he loves working on our shows. This is his original score. And we always do the full orchestra recording. For this show, we went to Abbey Road Studios in London to record it. And I'm going to play you a little segment. You'll see Robert conducting. But of course, it's more than the music. The sound design is a huge effort, the sound effects, everything else. We spend about 6 weeks in the dome after hours, after the public go away. I don't do that, luckily. The sound design team does that for about 6 weeks from 5 p.m. to about 2, 3 a.m. every night until they get the sound just right. Throw in a pretty good voiceover talent in this case. Lots of excitement about Pedro Pascal. People have been seeking the show out often because of his voiceover, which is kind of cool. You put it all together, and here's a trailer for what you're going to see in Boulder at Domefest West.
Beyond the orbit of the moon, 1,000,000 miles from Earth, the Gaia Space Telescope is hard at work mapping the Milky Way. By feeding Gaia's data into computer models, scientists can simulate the past, present, and future of our entire 200 billion star galaxy. I'm Pedro Pascal. Join me on a journey through our tight-knit stellar neighborhood into the bustling metropolis of the Milky Way. We'll witness some of the chance encounters that have shaped the destiny of our sun, and maybe even the course of life in the cosmos.
So we're all very excited to take this show to Boulder and have everyone enjoy it. This photo this is just part of the team. Right in the middle there, in particular, you'll see Carter right in the center there with Vivian, who is the producer of most of our shows, just a fantastic person, and Jackie Farity, who is the curator and astrophysicist behind everything. Can't wait to share it with you all. Thank you.
Very awesome. Very, very awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. I can personally say that I had a chance to see it in its home planetarium, and it's just one of those shows that kind of makes you fall in love with space again. And I'll give all the credit to Pedro Pascal and then about 10% of credit to Carter and his incredible vision. But yes, this is a film that you will walk away literally in awe of our galaxy. So thank you so much, Matt, for sharing it. One quick thing I didn't shout out at the beginning is that we have opportunity for Q&A. So this is your chance to ask the presenters and panelists questions. Now, we didn't have a chance to actually use the Q&A feature, which all of you, I highly recommend, go in, check the Q&A feature here in Zoom. It's pretty great. Type in your questions. But seeing as that this is kind of off the cuff, if anyone has any questions for Matt, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to throw them into the chat. It's a deadline. Type fast. And while we're waiting for that, I'm going to ask you, Matt, real quick to vamp. What is your personal favorite part of this show? If there is just one segment.
There is one. It's the when we visualize our Oort cloud, and then we visualize neighboring Oort clouds. And you suddenly see that we're not that far away from other systems, and it's kind of special. And you sort of imagine this idea that we're 4 light years away from the nearest star and all that kind of stuff. But actually, our Oort clouds change things a lot, and there's exchanges going on. There's also a scene where we show a galaxy that merged, came through the Milky Way, and that's pretty special. So I think just the connections to the rest of space, we're not as alone as people think we are.
Great answer. Okay, we've got questions coming in, so we're going to go quick. These are going to be lightning round questions. What software is we'll start with Phil. How long is the film? It's about
5 minutes, 24 and a half minutes. Just
24 and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Perfect. What softwares were used to visualize the show?
So that's not my area that much, but we normally work in Houdini for the actual show. We do all of the previs in open space and things like that, but the actual production of the show, Houdini, and then whoever that is, if you get my email address, I can give you a more detailed response.
Okay, we'll have him throw his email address in the chat. Look for that. Thor's asking, was that Oort cloud shape, influence from the Parker spiral?
I will ask him to read the paper. I'll send you the thing, because this is like science that I'm not quite. But yeah, I don't want to answer that on camera. I will send you the paper, and you can have a look at that.
Okay, perfect. And then last quick thing, 20-second answer. What's your special hope for this show's impact on audiences?
I mean, it's cool to get people excited about space, and it's just you want people to walk away being inspired and feel hopeful. Carter loved the idea that we leave our trails in space. Someone somewhere else in another galaxy could well be looking at the path that we've taken. It's the idea of connections and understanding that we may not be as alone as we think we are.
Awesome. Well, Matthew, thank you so much. We'll see you at Dome Fest West. If you want to know more, you gotta come to Boulder. So we're going to jump now to our next director and producer, Ondrej. Ondrej from Brno. He's calling us the evening time there in Czechia. Ondrej is bringing 2 incredible films, one of which he directed, one of which he was part of the production team. Very excited for both of them. Ondrej, why don't you share with us Unseen Earth and Edge of the Sky? Take it away.
Thank you very much. Let me just quickly share the screen. There we go. So, as Ryan already mentioned, we will be presenting 2 movies at Dome Fest West, and we're very happy that we will be again able to attend. The first movie is called Unseen Earth, Observe, Understand, Respond. And a very important information about this show is that it's actually not only a production of the Brno Observatory and a planetarium. It is actually it's actually an international cooperation. It was funded by the European Union, and it was us in Brno, Observatory and Planetarium, plus a planetarium from Slovakia, from Poland, from Austria, and even from Finland. And since this was a production funded by European Union, the main output of the project is a Fulldome show, which is free of charge for anyone. Anyone can download the show and play it for free. Of course, the project had more layers. We learned a lot from each other in the project, but the main output is for anyone, for any planetarium, a free Fulldome show. And moreover, since it was an international cooperation, the movie was already produced in several languages. And now at this point it is available in 8, but we hope that we will have more in the near future. And as I said, it can be downloaded for free if you go to the website unseenearth.eu. You can just fill out a form. Of course, there are some rules to the download. We can talk about that in person. I don't want to go into very big details here and now, but basically, yes, anyone can download the show and start screening it. And as for the show itself, the main topic is Earth observation, and we show it as a tool for sustainable future. We try to explain how satellite imagery and Earth observation as a globe, as a whole, function. And we try to explain people that the satellites in orbit, which are looking down at the Earth, are not only about nice images on Google Earth and about spying on your neighbors. We really try to show that it's hardcore science. Of course, we put emphasis on the Copernicus program, since it's a European Union project. And throughout the show, wherever possible, we try very hard to use real data, real satellite imagery, and we worked very closely with one of the partners, which was actually not a planetarium, but a company focused on satellite data processing from Finland. So we really tried hard, and we tried to add a story to the show, and we actually decided to make an arc from the beginning to the end with something which might come as a surprise, and I will not talk about it much now. I want you to come and watch the show, but I'm talking about the first image you can see on the screen, and you might be wondering, why is there a V2 rocket in a show about satellite imagery? And you can learn about this during the show. And I would like to talk more about the second show we are presenting at Domefest West, and that is our latest production called Edge of the Sky, with subtitle Where Clouds End, the Universe Begins. However, we usually use a different subtitle for our presentations. We use Taking Fulldome Camera to Extremes. And not only Fulldome cameras, but also the cameraman and the crew that was behind the show. The show itself is about clouds. When we started making the show, we thought to ourselves, like, hey, there are no show about clouds. There are no Fulldome shows about clouds. Why is that? Let's make a show about clouds. Very soon we realized why it is so, but we stayed on that track, and we tried to show clouds in a different way, not as something we hate, but as something that tells its story on its own. Because you can imagine that even in a planetarium, a scenery without clouds is very boring. So we talk about clouds from 3 different points of view: an astronomer, a pilot of a glider plane, and a little girl. And these 3 people talk about it during one summer day. They're all connected with the clouds, but from different perspectives. And as I said, that the show was very challenging, not only for the cameras and our equipment, but even for our staff, our crew. I present to you the author, who took way too many risks while doing the show, while making the show. He's the screenwriter. He is behind the whole show. He's actually a glider pilot, a drone pilot, a cameraman. He's everything, and he is a perfectionist, which you can really see in the show later on. And this picture very nicely represents that he was willing to go into any angle needed for a perfect shot. And at the end of the presentation, I will also play a short video about making off behind the screen, where you will see him in some less pleasant situations. Some of the challenges they had to face were even connected with the story of the astronomer, because they decided to shoot at the VLT. And this shot you see, which I hope you see on the screen right now, was a very big experiment which required a lot of luck. Because, of course, to take this shot, you cannot be in the dome. You have to put up the camera, set everything, press record, and leave. And you keep hoping for several hours that everything was set up correctly, and I think in the end they managed. However, throughout the show, there are also many aerial shots. There are many shots which were taken from or off a glider plane. The Thomas himself, he's a pilot. He did a lot of shots for the show from a glider plane, and not only from the inside of the plane, but also from the outside of the plane. And they even managed to record one plane from each other. So you actually have a shot of a glider plane flying around you. And for that, they had to get very creative. Yesterday, I asked him if they kept records on how much duct tape they actually had to use, and he told me that they stopped counting at 10th roll of duct tape. I would only like to point out that there is not only a GoPro camera duct taped to the front of the glider plane, you can also see a Insta360 camera on the backside of the plane. And with this, they were flying around the mountains and trying to get very nice shots. And you can't really, when flying the plane, you can't really see what is happening on the camera. So this was, you either do it or not. However, the biggest challenge of this show was the outro. It was the last shot of the show, and Thomas had an idea that he wants a hyperlapse, a fisheye hyperlapse of climbing through all the layers of clouds. So he decided to strap a Insta360 camera to a balloon, to high altitude balloon, and just record it while rising. However, during the initial test, they ran into a problem that during the hyperlapse, the seam on the Insta360 camera kept crossing in front of the viewer like several times a second, which made it very unpleasant. So he decided to build a monster, like a stabilization something, which would stabilize the rotation around the z-axis. So we actually tried to do a hyperlapse on the high altitude balloon without any rotation during the climb. And there are many more stories behind this. I mean, even just, we could talk about just this high altitude balloon for half an hour. There are many stories behind it. So please come to the festival, watch the show. We will be there. We will be happy to talk to you about the show. There is a lot of stuff I can't say now because it's being recorded. So I'm not legally allowed to say that, but face to face, I'm more than happy to share. And one more thing I would love to share is a short video we've made about behind the screens. The title is in Czech, Na hraně nebe, that's in Czech language. But let's play a short clip which shows you the situations our crew had to go into to make this movie happen. So that's all from my side. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will enjoy it at Domefest West. And as I said, there are many stories behind the production, and one very quick fun fact I would like to share with you, the last information I'll give you, is that the music for this movie was made by a composer we could work with because we met it at Domefest West last year. We met Camilo Posada at Domefest West, and 1 month later, he was composing music for our movie. So that's a very nice piece of information I have for you. So thank you very much for your attention, and I will give it back to Ryan.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. Great news to hear that you found a good fit for a composer. There are a number of stories like that, but it when it happens to you, it's special, and it's great, Ondrej, that you guys found that. Quick question, and then we're going to jump on. How did you deal with the vibration problems with the cameras duct taped to the glider? Or is the glider just that smooth? Did you see any of the early footage?
It actually is quite smooth. It is quite smooth. I know there were. I mean, guys had to do a lot of like corrections and stabilization in post process. There was a lot of that that had to be done. But the glider was not the main problem. Like trying to attach a Insta360 camera to a small drone is a bigger problem than actually attaching a camera to a glider. That's a larger problem.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Without the engine, there'll be less vibration.
Yeah.
Now
the power was a problem in -4.
The cameras would just turn off, I assume, or something. Oh. All right. Well, there'll be a longer behind the scenes. If you liked what you saw, there'll be a full 20-minute behind the scenes that will be showing late night, Thursday night. It's all part of our opening night Cosmic Journeys program. It's going to be incredible. So come to Domefest West, like Ondrej said, and let's all soar together. But we're going to keep rolling on. We have now going to kind of shift a little tiny bit of our focus. We've been focused on for these first two on kind of more planetarium fare, but let's go into Dome After Dark. Let's start looking at some of that fun programming that it brings in new audiences. And one program that's a big standout this year, but I think you will also agree, is the film Resolution, and it's directed by Scott Berman, who's on the call. Scott, go ahead and please jump on. This film has been making waves from South by Southwest last year. You missed the deadline, but hey, you made it for this year, and we're excited to have you. So, Scott, share with us what we'll be seeing.
Thank you, Ryan. First of all, great work on the first two there, Matt and Ondrej. Amazing stuff. We weren't in quite as much danger in the filming of ours as Ondrej was, but there's certainly some stories there. Let me share my screen here. Let's see. Okay. So I'm Scott Berman. I'm the director, writer, and producer of Resolution. Resolution is a 45-minute film based on an album by the Polyphonic Spree. This is the first Dome film that I've made. And, but I certainly come from a long history of immersive storytelling. Back in the 90s, I started doing visuals for a band called Tripping Daisy, if anybody remembers them. But we toured across the United States doing analog projection, sort of like the old Fillmore West kind of stuff. But with slide projectors, film projectors, overhead projectors, I was actually editing film to create these shows, and we ended up creating a show that had over 150 projectors. So any sort of venue that we went in, whether it was a small one or a large arena, we would sort of spread, artwork, all throughout the space and creating immersive experiences before it was a catchphrase. So the singer of that band, Tim DeLauder, and I have been friends since the 7th grade. And when he started his first band, he asked me to do the visual show for it. And we've been doing visual shows with his music for 35 years now. So we had always talked about doing a planetarium show, like sort of in the early going, but never got around to it. And then just recently, a couple years ago, Tim played his new album for me, or at least the beginnings of the new album on, just on his cell phone. And I fell in love with the music and felt like this was the time to do it, to do a planetarium show. Shout out to Mesmerica. We had never seen, we never saw the Pink Floyd show to begin with. I saw Pink Floyd laser show in a dome a long time ago, but so of course Mesmerica with their great advertising, I got a ping on my cell phone, and I was like, oh my God, that this is what we want to do. We have to go see this film. So I took Tim out to Denton, and we were amazed by Mesmerica and just the how you were surrounded and the visuals and the music. And we walked out of there and said, we have to do this. This is something that we need to do. I spent the first 4 months listening to the record. Tim wouldn't tell me what it was about. And so I spent the first 4 months listening to the record, and I sort of rearranged the record to tell a story. So we went on this adventure to figure out how to do a dome film, which we had never done before. I quickly realized that we needed to hire some folks that have experience in this, and so I hired Ryan Hartzell, who is really instrumental in the film and a pioneer in VR, the VR space. So we hired him. The idea was to create 9 different unique pieces that were done with different types of animation. I'll show you through some of these. So each song is created with a different style of animation. The film starts off in a campfire setting, and each one of the songs is about a person in the campfire. So that's the unique thread that sort of ties it all together, even though they're completely different stories on their own. They tell sort of this story of hope and empathy that you get throughout the film. And so each song, as you can see, has vastly different styles of animation. Some of it's live action, some of it's done with hand-drawn. We've had some Disney artists that used to do stuff in the 90s for Disney. And there were hand-drawn pieces that we had to then figure out. Everybody sort of worked in their own space. No one had done a dome film before. So each of these artists that were from different parts of the country and different parts of the world. We had artists from Germany, France, Canada, and all over the United States. And, each artist sort of worked in their own style that they worked in. And we then took the layered files and took those pieces and brought them into Cinema 4D and wrapped them in the dome and recreated what they had created, because none of them knew how to do 360 footage. And then so there's anything from that, from this hand-drawn texture to, as you see some of this stuff here in the middle, that was done in Cinema 4D. So that was already dome ready, while the stuff up at the top that you see, the hand-drawn stuff, was not. And so then, this next song that you see here, the one that's at the top, that was done in Quill, which, as some of you know, is you draw on a VR headset. It's all hand drawn, so it's already fit for the dome. But at any rate, we built this over probably 18 months. The whole process took about 2 years. We launched it, I'll go back to this. We launched it at South by Southwest. Well, we launched it in Denton, which was a local planetarium around here in Dallas, University of North Texas, which is where we saw Mesmerica, by the way. And so we launched it there kind of quietly. During the process of this, they were really super helpful. We were able to go to the Dome. We went there every Friday for a year to sort of experiment and then go back to the drawing table and then experiment again and see what we had accomplished. Lots of crap happened before any good stuff happened. But we launched at South by Southwest. After that, we erected a dome inside the Fairmont Hotel there. And we were astonished at the reaction that we had from the audiences. It was amazing. Met so many people there that are sort of not really in the dome world, but in the XR VR world, and that sort of opened our eyes to a lot of different things. And so we've sort of broken some ground with being the first film to win an audience award at South by Southwest, the first dome film to do that. We're also up under consideration for an Emmy for outstanding emerging media program. We were on the ballot for the Grammys for best music film. We won some awards in Portland at the Portland Music Festival. We missed out on Dome Fest last year, which was crazy because I didn't even know about it because I'm new to this space. But it's interesting. Like, we went anyway, right? Because we wanted to meet everybody. And I'll just say this about how lovely and amazing the Dome world is and all the people that are in it. That everybody that I've ever met in this space has been gracious, has been helpful, has really been supportive of our film and supportive of, including us in these things. And we met a lot of amazing people, and that sort of introduced us to this Dome world that we didn't even really know existed prior to making the film. We knew that you could make a Dome film. We didn't really understand, how it all fit together. But since then, we've launched at the Amnh in Fort Worth, which, if you guys know about that space, it's amazing. It's an 8K LED dome. We have 300 shows there. We've been in the SAT in Montreal, obviously Denton. Shout out to our friend Mark, who's got us in Catalina. We're going to be in the Netherlands this summer, in Dorrance, in Rochester. We've been at the just recently at the Adelaide Fringe Festival in Australia. We had several shows there. And this is sort of all kind of come around within a year, and sort of the culmination of it last year was an incredible opportunity. We got a call from Rick Rubin, and he asked us to come out and put a dome on his lawn. You see some of the pictures of it here on the bottom here, but asked us to come put a dome on his lawn at Shangri-La Studios. And shout out to Stephen Powers for helping me on that, produce that, who I met at Dome Fest West. Wouldn't have been able to do it without him. So there's another shout out to the kind of people that you meet at Dome Fest West and the kind of community that surrounds it. Amazing people. So anyway, we went to Rick Rubin's place. We put the dome on his lawn. They were recording the Strokes album at the same time we were there. It was really surreal, and such an adventure. And then they asked us to stay for 3 extra days, and that was going to cost us a lot of money. But, asked them why, and they said, well, Neil Young's 80th birthday party is happening on Wednesday, and we love you to stay and show the film for it. And just blew our minds. So we got to show the film for, an amazing group of people. Red Hot Chili Peppers were there. Just a lot of producers. And it's just been a wonderful experience getting into this space. And, as an artist, once you see your work on a dome, even the dome in Denton, which is much smaller than the dome in Fort Worth. But when you see your work displayed on a screen like that, you never want to go back to flat 2D world, which is what I come from, doing, even arena shows. This is different than that. And I think that it's, I think that it's only beginning where we're going to take this. We're standing on the shoulders of a lot of giants in the space that have, and no pun intended, but that have done these amazing space films, and they continue to do those. And now we're sort of, this Dome After Dark thing is happening where, and obviously we stand on the shoulders of Pink Floyd, who launched Dark Side of the Moon in a planetarium, over 50 years ago. Since then, nothing's happened until really Mesmerica did what they did and paved the way for us to come in and this not to be a crazy idea. I definitely wouldn't have got funding had you guys not built that before us. So I owe that to you guys, and thank you for that. And I just the space is amazing, and the people are amazing, and you find these individual stories that start getting told that you're really interested in, and they grab you in a different way than they can ever grab you in another way. The first Dome Theater film that I ever saw was at the Amnh Theater, probably 30 years ago, and it was The Whales, and I was just blown away by it. And, little did I know 30 years later that I would, my film would be in that same theater, a newly reimagined theater, with LED, technology, and the screen is insane there. But anyway, I'll move on a little bit and tell you guys, show you guys a little trailer on the film here that you'll see. The sound will be coming on soon.
Hey, Scott.
Right.
Very cool.
There
Thank
you
you,
go. Sorry
Scott.
for the technical difficulties there.
Hey, we got it worked out. Real quick, we're going to jump into questions. Just so everyone knows, I know that there is a GSCA panel on LED technology for flat screens that's starting right now. We'll be wrapping this up soon, but if you need to jump to that, that's fair, though it is for flat screens. So it's not dome. That's coming April 14th, I believe. So anyway, Scott, questions. What was the native resolution for your Fulldome Master? 4K, 8K, 6K?
8K, we shot everything in 8K, but we edited it in 4K first. And then, which I wish we would have done 8K to begin with. Then we had to come back and re-edit it when we launched in the Amnh. So, but it's 8K resolution. No pun intended.
8K for the LED. Nice. So it's sharp and bright. We like that. All right. And then one more question for Scott. You probably found that Fulldome shows are heavily produced using computer graphics. What hopes do you have or foresee on future cinephonic projects integrating live action, sculpture, puppets, live performance, all those different things? You mixed 2D animation with some 3D with some live action, but do you see this expanding?
We're actually launching some live shows at the Amnh this summer. And that's really where my background comes from, live performance shows. So definitely see that in our future, but also creating these music films with other albums. We think it's a really cool way to experience an album and get back to sort of this storytelling that artists do, that nobody listens to them that way anymore because they listen to these. Hell, they don't even listen to a full song anymore. But this is a way I found to settle people down, to listen to an entire piece of work. And I think with the heavy use of computer graphics, for us, we always like to kind of use a mixture of the old and the new. So we're going to continue to do hand-drawn animation, even though that it's, that it can be somewhat done in easier methods with AI. We've got a lot of artists out there that still want to express what they do and their talents. And so I think the combination of that is sort of what makes what we're doing unique. And so we'll continue to lean on that for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, if you want to see more, if your interest has been piqued and you want a chance to see the whole project, it's a feature-length project. So we're talking 40 plus minutes. So plan to come and see it. It's Friday night. And that actually leads in to the film that we'll be playing directly after Resolution. Thank you so much, Scott, for joining us. We'll go ahead. Awesome. Round of applause for Scott, everyone. Round of applause in the chat. Let's go ahead and have Michael Saul come on the call. Michael Saul is the director of not one, not two, but three James Hood films: the Mesmerica craze, the Beatifica craze, the Astronomica craze, the Wave. This is all credit to this man, Michael Saul. We're going to be seeing Astronomica Friday evening as part of our Harmony of Sounds and Vision. But Michael, you've been creating these for a while. What are we going to see in Astronomica that's new, and what are you excited about our audience seeing? Take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan, and thank you to everybody else who's participated. I can't wait to see all of these projects. I think it's going to be so exciting to see these in the Fiske. So Astronomica is our third film. It's sort of the end of the trilogy, if you will. And while we have other things coming down the pike, this one is unique in a lot of ways. And I'm actually not going to do a whole lot of talking about it. I know you'll have questions, and we can talk about it, in the chat afterward, or even live when we get to the festival. But I do want to show you a couple of videos to help you will help you sort of understand what we're trying to do. And the first one is really about it features James Hood, who is our sort of mentor and the one who is behind all of these shows, who creates all the music, and really informs us what we're going to see and hear. So he's part of this sort of behind the scenes video. It's very short. There's another longer one that's on YouTube right now on his channel. But I want to share this with you first, and then I have another video that will show you more about the visuals. But we're very lucky to have worked with some amazing artists from around the world to help create these visuals. We have an amazing 3D artist, Howard Matthews, who does a lot of the 3D work. We worked with Jordan Cadby, who's an amazing VFX artist who did most of the space animation. We work with a lot of amazing abstract artists, Julius Horsthaus. So we get to work with some just amazing people around the world to help put these projects together. So let me share this video first. And let's see. Share. Here we go. Let me know if this works.
Having something all around you was somebody was kind of like
It doesn't sound like the audio is coming through. Maybe try resharing like what Scott did and double checking that you're sharing audio in the screen share.
Let's see.
The 2 check boxes on the right if you...
There it is. I see it. Gotcha. Okay, let's try this again.
having
Much
something
better.
all around you was suddenly kind of like, wow, this is what losing track of time is. Astronomica, it's about the self, the size of the self. We've made something. You could call it a film, you could call it entertainment, but I think it's a lot more, because it's much more to do with you than you think. Well, the music of Astronomica we recorded with the Hungarian National Orchestra. It's not just orchestral music, it's genre bending. Everything was done, except for when we went to Budapest, in my studio in Altadena, California, the space farm. What I'm hoping is happening is that you're starting to have an experience of yourself. We're in space. What is space? Where does space end and I start?
So that's a little background on the project. It really is, if you've seen any of our other films, it really is very much the same kind of experience where the audience is taken on a journey of beautiful music and beautiful images, but at the end of the day, it really is about what the audience experiences and what they personally take away from that experience. And in this case, we use space and the universe and beyond to sort of set the stage for that. But once you're into the film, it really starts to, we hope anyway, give the audience very big feelings about and answer big questions or ask big questions. And that's really the exciting thing about the show. And I'm so excited to see it at the Fiske, because I think it's going to be amazing there. I just want to share one other thing with you, and that is a music video of the sort of the single song that was released by James for the show. And it also will give you more of a feeling of some of the visuals that we're using in the show. And I think you might enjoy it, and hopefully it will whet your appetite to come and see it at the festival. So here is that. So hopefully that will give you some inspiration to come and see the show in a couple of weeks at the festival. It's going to be fantastic. I think James is planning to be there that night, so you can ask him questions and hopefully get a chance to meet him. And I think I'm open to some other questions if you want, but we can all certainly talk in Boulder as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. That's a great, just teasing look at that film. That film is a full feature. It's 50 minutes long. And so it is something that is traveling the world as its own product. We do have some questions. We're going to hit these real quick because, we want to get to Jeremy and then let people jump to the GSCA program. But first off, what suggestions would you have for other creators with a background in cinema like yourself when approaching kind of projects in this media? Maybe just give us a quick 30 seconds of people coming in from film or other backgrounds.
Yeah, I mean, the Dome world is a learning process, and there are a lot of wonderful people out there who can help you get started. But I think understanding the Dome itself, which is such a unique way of presenting work, takes some time. Even we, after doing it for so many years, we never really know what we're going to see until we actually see it in a dome. Watching it on a screen or in some other way is very, very difficult to really understand the impact. So make friends with your local dome that you can go in and watch your stuff, because that's really important.
Very true. Making allies in your local planetarium opens so many doors. There's a number of questions from Kelly, and Kelly, I'll save some of these for the festival itself. But one of them kind of stood out as questions that I've heard before, so we would love to get your opinion. Why do you think your shows have been so profitable? What has been your guys' secret sauce? If you can share any sort of insights.
Well, that's a big answer to a big question, but I think basically, there's sort of a creative side to the company, and there's a business side of the company. And the business side of the company has done very, very well to promote the shows, and but it does take it takes people and money to do that, and so that's a really important part of it. And you always, then on the other side of the creative, you have to create work that people are going to come and see and respond to. So it's really hand in hand, and there are a lot of here again big answers and big questions, but we can certainly talk about that at the festival because it's a very important part of the whole thing. So.
Very, very, very true. Well, thank you so much, Michael, for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you at the festival along with James. So round of applause for Michael. And yeah, it's cool to have Ken. Ken's in attendance, and his work is definitely in the film. So Ken, great job. Applause to you as well. All right. So moving on to our last panelist. Jeremy jumped on already. Love the energy. So, Jeremy, you're showing us something unique. It is our laser programming Saturday night. Give us a quick rundown. What can we see, and will there be any eyeball bleeding involved?
Yeah, hello everybody. Happy to be here. Shout out to all of these other wonderful producers and photographers. Everybody that I've seen so far is making me very excited for the program in a couple of weeks here. Thank you so much for everybody sticking around. I know we're at or over time here, so I will get right into it. Let me get... So my name is Jeremy Osowski. I go by Floso as my artist page. I try to blend science, nature, and art. So when I do Fulldome shows or any type of visual art production, everything you see is an actual image. So these are all images that I've taken. I'm a CU Boulder astronomy alum. I started at Fiske sweeping floors and scanning tickets with zero experience in the dome world in 2017. Big lover of music, the outdoors, dogs, as you see in the lower left there, that's Comet. Another picture that I took with lasers and long exposures, and then a picture here on the right of some shows that I was performing inside the dome. More importantly, I'd love to share learning and knowledge with people, so which is, it was touched on of how great this dome community is, but really like learning with other people, learning from other people, and sharing that knowledge with other people is what really gets me going. So what do I do? Well, my full-time job here is a project manager of the Science Through Shadows project. So I help manage more of the science episodes, short episodes that we do about astronomy topics. But I'm also a visual arts specialist here at the Planetarium. In my spare time, which is really just extra time, I work as a VJ, a laserist, and a photographer, doing a lot of astrophotography with my programs. And so what will you see at DomeFest West? So April 25th, the Saturday night slot from 10:16 to 10:46, I'm going to give you a little bit of photon therapy. This is going to be a laser light show performance, emphasis on the performance. It's going to be a mix of live and one pre-programmed song. We're going to start you with a pre-programmed song that I made from a song. I won't tell you what song it is, but it came out in 1975, and it's the opening song for our 50th anniversary laser show. So I started with that, and then we actually have local Denver artist Twizzled. He's going to be putting together a live performance for us, and so he's done a really good job at taking that song from 1975, creating a new version of it, and it's going to seamlessly flow in. And so down here on the bottom are some pictures of my laser work at a recent concert, just to give you a little bit of eye-popping experience of what it will look like. And then let me go ahead and where is my stop share button? Let's see. Stop share. There we go. Let me go back and show you a video of what it's going to look like in the dome for you guys. Share sound, optimize for video. And let's make this full screen. All right, so emphasis on this video is about 75% live lasers, and there's about 25% of pre-programmed stuff, but I hope you guys enjoy. All right. So one thing that I just want to mention. So this will not be your grandparents' laser show. We make everything in-house. We've been working hard to produce not only just our own shows and like handcraft our set list, but blur the lines between pre-programmed laser shows that you just have packaged that you can see over and over again versus the live performance. So that's why we're bringing in a live musician. I've been creating all from scratch our laser graphics and everything that I'll be performing for you guys live. We'll also have another one of our navigators, Amanda. I know some of you probably know her, but she's a dome wizard. She'll be flying the Digital Sky software live as well with some visualization over top. So definitely hope to see you there on Saturday night.
Very, very awesome. Very awesome. Thank you so much, Jeremy. And it really is, like you said, a new type of laser content that is coming out. Laserium did a lot of really amazing things. It opened a lot of really amazing domes. But you're doing something next level, and you're doing it with new artists. Can you share with maybe a little bit of the genres you're working with when producing some of these like laser shows?
Sure. So, it all started basically when I was working as an usher, watching the laser shows, and I thought that, it's really cool. The laser show is really cool as is, but it needs to be tied with the music, right? So there's still that aspect of wanting to give people music that they love. As Scott said, it's good if the music tells a story, and if you can create that bridge between, just having music that's paired with cool stuff and have storytelling. One of the laser shows that I'm most proud of is an East versus West Coast 90s hip hop, where that music tells the story, and we took a lot of time of drawing laser animations to tell the story. So it's like you're watching cartoons and lasers. So we do what we love and what we think people will love. So we've got a classic rock show. We've got working on our own Pink Floyd shows. 21 Pilots, I'm a big believer in what they do, and I saw them run lasers at their shows. So I was like, well, if they are doing it as artists, then we can do it too. And what's really special is that we're now on a system that any major concert production is using the same software that we do. So we have full control. You can start with a dot and make it into anything you want, or you can draw whatever you want. It's a whole lot of work, but it is a lot of payoff. Kelly, the software is Pangolin. Pangolin Beyond is the name of the software.
Nice.
And they have a couple different tiers of Pangolin Beyond, but the one, there's an ultimate, advanced, and a something else, something above. But there's different tiers of Pangolin.
Pangolin Plaid, ultra advanced.
Yeah.
Plaid. No, that's fantastic. We can't wait to see it. That is going to be a big part of our Saturday night program. There will also be an amazing demo by Laser Fantasy. Laser Fantasy does really fantastic laser shows. When you don't have someone like Jeremy, you can rely on JHEC and his incredible products. But that will be the start of our program. And then Jeremy's going to finish it with Twizzled. We're looking forward to it so much. Jeremy, in the interest of time, is there any song, any teaser thing that we can watch for Saturday night? Should we watch 421 Pilots? Are they going to make an appearance?
No, 21 Pilots won't be there. I wasn't sure if I could share any of the Twizzle music because you said this would be on YouTube, so I wasn't sure if the copyright. But I can type into the chat a Twizzled song. It's called How to Beat Anxiety. So if you want to How to Beat Anxiety, by Twizzled. If you go to anywhere music is found, or even better, if you want to go to YouTube onto the Twizzled channel, there I did a 45-minute mix. The first time I ever listened to his debut album, which is where that song is, I stopped what I was doing and I ran into my computer because I was like, I need to create something for this. Like, I need to tell the story. And so I just hit record and recorded out my visuals. So that won't give you the laser sense of what we'll be able to see, but that will give you a sense for what type of music Twizzle will be bringing. It's like electro, soul, funk, bass music.
All right, cool.
For the people.
For the people,
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thor also threw a fantastic note in the chat that there will be a cash bar happening Saturday night at the festival. So plan to come and enjoy yourself. It's going to be a fantastic program, but it's not an open bar. Just so Thor knows, if it is an open bar, it's because Thor is buying. But we'll worry about that later. For now, just thank you so much, Jeremy, for sharing all of this. We'll look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks in person at the festival. And with that, we're going to just quickly run through. The bar is open. It's not an open bar. Yes, there we go. There we go. It's the bar. All right. Whatever. We're going to wrap up this program pretty quickly, and it's going to be in style, going through our sponsors and our supporters. We want to give huge shout out to them, and then also just quickly run through some of the films that you'll be able to see at the festival so that you have an understanding of, essentially the really cool goodies that are in this year's programming. Our sponsors this year, we could not do this without our sponsors. They are the lifeblood of our entire event. It's also one of the aspects that is growing the most. Our conference or expo aspects, the business to business aspects are really becoming more and more of a focus and are growing because it's what helps our industry really move forward. Our presenting sponsor, our hosting sponsor, Fiske Planetarium, huge shout out to them. Also to the Immersive Media Lab there at CU Boulder. We're going to have a chance to visit their lab as attendees would like to. And huge thank you to them. Huge thank you to Digitalis and SIA Skyscan as well. Two huge, incredible US-based partners in planetarium services and support. For our silver sponsorship, we have a huge a lineup of silver sponsors. We want to say a huge thank you to Worlds that produces and shows the James Hood shows. Seventh Sense, American Museum of Natural History, who we just heard from, the Boulder County Film Commission. If you would like to meet the Film Commission and the Film Commissioner there in Boulder County, he will be in attendance. It would be the exact time. We also want to say thank you to Museum of Science Boston, Design Air Studio, ePlanetarium, and Fulldome On Demand. Come find out more about on-demand Fulldome content you can get for your planetarium at a good price. The Fulldome database is supporting Giant Screen Cinema Association. Thank you so much to Giant Screen. Laser Fantasy, that's Jay Heck and his demo Saturday night. Then also Navatar with their really fantastic lensing, new audio technology. Tom Ammerman and his audio processing units are fantastic for producing great spatialization sound. Reef Distribution and Soft Machine are partners in Germany, distributors and producers of content. Shasta Visions, our amazing, fantastic awards are produced by Shasta Visions. They are handmade, custom made by Shasta Visions. So come see them in person. They're beautiful. Showmation, a brand new company for show control. The Illuminati, another fantastic vendor that supports incredible planetariums here in the United States. They also have a fantastic portable display that you have to see in person. And then again, Worlds, our friends of the festival, C3, Center for Conscious Creativity, D&D Pictures, Double Dome, and Planetarium, Principal Large Format, and Tau Immersive. Just thank you all so much. I don't know if Phil is still on this call. I'm guessing he is not. No, Phil, you are still on the call. Phil, would you like to come on real quick and just kind of give everyone a teaser of your talk that you'll be doing, I've just let you unmute yourself if you want to jump in.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're coming through loud and clear.
Of course. Gosh, well, it's we're doing some camera tests for the GSCA session in May, which is happening in Los Angeles. I say we, that's me, Sean Phillips, American Society of Cinematographers, and Nate Cohen, who is an IMAX giant screen post-production supervisor. We're looking at the high end of life. So we're looking at trying to keep an 8K by 8K image from soup to nuts, from source to source to screen. I'll have a little chat with Matt, I think it was, who thinks he went 8K all the way. Scott, sorry. I'd be intrigued to see how he did that. But that's what we're going to do. We're shooting some tests now with a Blackmagic design camera to see if we can do a dome first pathway. And that is shoot with a 12K camera, extract an 8K by 8K image, full dome image out of that, a beautiful circle shot with a fisheye lens, looking spanking for the dome screen, and see if we can slice out of the bottom section of that an image which, after it's been de-warped and filled with, that does that stand up okay on an IMAX screen. If it does, there is a dome first pathway. If it doesn't, we're back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board. So it's potential major implications in rearranging focus to being able to capture for the dome, but time will tell.
Yeah, it's just breaking down the barrier to think, well, okay, what is my outlet? At the moment, we haven't seen in the IMAX world, apart from Mesmerica, we haven't seen many of the wonderful live action shows. It's not really a sort of reverse compatibility. If you've shot something specifically for a full dome, a 1x1, it's not very reverse compatible to go to 4:3. And similarly, if we go from 143 to the dome, we've got a big black bit at the top. So we're looking to see whether or not it's possible to shoot 100% with a fisheye lens, or shoot 60-70% of the movie with a fisheye lens, put that on a 180-degree dome, shoot with a 180-degree lens, and that'll be 8K by 8K. That should look perfect all the way up to LED 8K by 8K. But if you shoot 60-70% of your film like that, and you put that on an IMAX screen, you've got to do something with it. You've got to extract out of that a usable image that flattens down, because of course the dome has got this. If you just show it flat, it's got this massive curve on the horizon. So you've got to do a big visual effect process on that to flatten out that horizon. And no one has done that test going from 8K by 8K dome shooting to 4K by 3K IMAX shooting, or IMAX projecting, and seeing if it holds up. And so that's what we're going to do.
Very cool.
So I'll be talking about that process. I can't show anything at Dome Fest West. We'll be showing stuff hopefully at ASTC in Arizona. That's the dream.
Okay, there at the Dorrance Dome. It's a great dome to show those kind of tests. So yes, excited to learn. As Scott said in the chat, it's about understanding, yes, the process behind these, and then looking forward to the images when we can. So thank you so much, Phil. All right, let's land this plane by really quickly just going through some of the films that you'll be seeing at Dome Fest West. These are some of the strongest films that we've had of any festival, but it's also because I think this year we had a lot of really amazing institutional releases. So this year, if you were a tiny independent creator, it was a little tougher. I'm sorry about that, but that's kind of how these industry years flow between year to year. So shout out real quick to the Wisdom team. And as much as I would love to figure out how to pronounce it, but Nord's Copings Visualizator Center C, very, very well-known Planetarium creators have created a film on AI. So if you are a planetarium or a science center that wants to eventually kind of broach that topic, what is AI and how do we actually explain it in terms of machine learning, large language models, this is a brand new film that tackles that subject. Now, the dome is great for the stars, but it seems like when it comes to winning kids over, there's nothing really better than dinosaurs under the dome. And this is Dinosaurs Under the Northern Lights. It's kind of putting multiple things all together in the most amazing way. You won't want to miss it. Of course, Edge of the Sky, you've already heard of that, and Encounters in the Milky Way. These are incredible parts of our programming, and these are both representing planetarium films that are ready to be programmed at different planetarium venues. H2O, Cosmic Water, fantastic kids film from RSA Cosmos Distribution. James Hood's Astronomica, which we have heard from Michael on. A new artist to the space, Kyle Alden's Space and Time. This is an incredible album experience that you won't want to miss. Then we're seeing Crute Art Studio. You may remember the hit film 3, 2, 1 Liftoff, in which our little hamster friend Elon went to space. Wow, this is the follow-up film Little Eve from Crute Art Studio from Prague in the Czech Republic, and you won't want to miss that. Lots and lots of heart. One Step Beyond, NSC Creative has released a new project detailing how we get to Mars, and it is very powerful. Get ready to see a fun little Easter egg. Ziggy Marley shows up. Maybe not Marley, but Ziggy shows up. You'll see what I mean when you see the film. Resolution, Cinematic Rhapsody for the Soul. We just heard from Scott on that. Looking forward to that. Big perk this year. We're going to the ISS live action with Felix and Paul Studios, brought to us by Hublot. And this is really, really incredible footage from inside the space station. You will see and understand what it's like inside the ISS as if you were actually there. We're showing episode 1 of that 4-part series. Then The Journey from Formless to Form. This was a big hit a number of years ago, and we are excited to see it come back in longer and more extended form. The Pleasure Experience is an interactive experience. Come play some Tetris with all of us as we fill up the dome and end up learning more about ourselves as we scroll through our lives. Voyage of the Stars, another fantastic RSA Cosmos film. This will be a part of our Saturday morning programming, and we're excited about that. Alpha's Auteur Marquentour. I know that I have slaughtered that. It's a beautiful French film created by the incredible Sébastien Gauthier from Montreal, Canada. From Granite to Galaxies, we're going to be going to the UK, to Cornwall, to learn a bit of the incredible work that they are doing there, connecting their local environment to space. And then we're moving a little bit more into our shorts program and our different alternative programming, as IMAX says. Goodbye, Goldie, incredible story of a goldfish. That one will leave you tearing up. Life, the Greatest Story. A fantastic story of evolution. Qualia, this is a big shout out to Laura and Sierra, who's been starting to tour this program around. We're excited to bring this to you at Fiske. It's going to be part of Sunday morning's Sacred Sunday program of Connor, the Inner Cosmos. Remixed, the expected side of science. This is from the Museum of Science Boston. Very excited to be bringing that and the Dope Labs podcast project. Space, A New Frontier from K2 Pictures. Frontiers of Infinity from our friends up in Canada, and specifically Michelle D.T. Lamb, the incredible director that also brought us Lands of the Americas. You won't want to miss Frontiers of Infinity, connecting space and the brain. The Last Symphony of Light, we are excited to show off by the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, their first short film, and connect their group to the rest of the community. Then there's The Rift by 4Pi Productions, a short film. Up by Creative Planet. This is a fantastic film, just won at SatFest, one of the big awards. Unseen Earth, which we just heard from Ondrej, excited about that. Weaving Plasma. This is Simon Hajduk, an incredible Canadian artist, and bringing his initial major film to the Dome. Angel, this is our first foray into AI content creation. So we're excited to see how this film responds with audiences. Angel, you won't want to miss that. That will be Friday evening, just before Resolution and Astronomica. Then Belief, short film, In the Company of the Mother Tree. It's got a Welsh title that I will not try to pronounce, but this is a beautiful look into the forest they have there. Luminescence will be one of our live performances Saturday night. You won't want to miss Anne do. She's going to have singing and live Dome visuals. Lydia from Canada, we're bringing La Method des Moments, another one of the fantastic Lydia Yakalowski films. And then to just end this out real quick, we're bringing films from the Oregon-based creators of 360 Labs. We've got a new Rapunzel short story Dome experience coming from Germany Saturday night. You may have seen this at Gallipa, but we're going to have Mike Murray and Jason bring the hit presentation Rovers, Rockets, and Rock and Roll from GLPA to Dome Fest West. We've got our friends down under, Warwick and Melbourne, with She Whom the Moon Ruled, and then Impossible Journey and The Silk Road, 2 short films to end things out. And I would like to say a huge thank you to our jury this year. Our jury watched about 44 hours worth of films. They were very patient and with each other and with me as they were evaluating all these films. So I want to say thank you to Cora Braun, Dirk Wallace, Ian Downey, JT Town, Kat Hunt, and Robin Sipp, as well as Sean Crusoe there from Montreal. So thank you to all of them. And in general, thank you to all the creators that are a part of this year's program. That is the end of our inside look into Dome Fest West 2026. Thank you so much for sticking around with us to the very end. It's going to be an event that you don't want to miss. Now, if you can't make it this year, maybe your budgets are too tight, maybe you're dealing with unexpected expenses, it completely makes sense. Right now is one of the toughest time that our entire industry has ever faced, especially with the funding cuts that happened just about a year ago. So we understand if you're not able to make it this year, we hope that you can plan to make it for 2027. But to see the films that you saw today, you got to go to know. We're going to leave you with that. Thank you all so much for attending. We will not have an open floor lounge this week. If you want to have an amazing in-person open floor lounge, that will take place 2 weeks in Boulder, Colorado. That, I think, wraps up our program here. Shout out, there will be no Fulldome Forum for May. Our next program will be in early June with a preview of the IPS Conference 2026 coming from Japan. So thank you all so much, and we hope to see you all soon. I hope you have a great, wonderful rest of your day. And if you haven't tuned into the GSCA panel, we invite you to go to that now. Thank you all so much. We'll catch you later. Stay safe, and we love you. Bye-bye.